Brian Claypool joins us. He's an attorney and he's a survivor of the Las Vegas mass shooting that killed 58 people. That was slightly under 2 years ago. Brian, what has this whole week been like for you, looking at events unfold since the shooting?
Yeah, Cyril, great to see you again. I have been beyond angry, obviously emotional for all the victims. My heart goes out to them. I'm still struggling with PTSD, having been a victim of the Las Vegas shooting. When I was in that shooting, I wasn't hit by a bullet, but I heard the bullets hitting around me. I saw people shot and down, some were killed. And part of my soul, Cyril, was lost in that shooting. So whenever another mass shooting happens, and here we had, what, 2, 3 in 1 week in the United States, it actually re-traumatizes those who have been victims of mass shootings. So I went from deep trauma, reliving the Vegas shooting, to anger. So I'm actually outraged at this point and embarrassed by our pathetic leadership in Washington, D.C., our leadership that fails to make necessary changes to safeguard people in our country. So there has to be something done to stop this from happening, and it's got to be, in my opinion, an assault weapon ban. I know we're talking a lot about this background.
All right, so Brian, let me jump in for a second. The president has raised the possibility of some forms of gun control. He says in particular that he wants background checks. Now, that is something, as you know, that he's said before after the Parkland shooting, and it didn't happen. How do you feel about the fact that it's being mentioned now?
Yeah, exactly. Talk is cheap. That's my response to President Trump. We heard this before after the Parkland shooting, and nothing happened. And we then had the House of Representatives in the United States pass a bill in February of this year that would have enacted this background check. And what happens? We have a dictatorship in Washington, D.C. The head of the Senate and President Trump decide that they're not going to even let this bill be voted on in the Senate.
Well, so the head of the Senate, so Mitch McConnell said that he's going to have a debate about this, that when Congress convenes again, when the Senate convenes again, they're going to have a debate, and they're definitely going to consider background checks and red flag laws.
Yeah, but why is it taking so long, Cyril? Didn't we hear this before? I mean, I'm not convinced anything will be done until it's actually enacted and there's actually a vote on it. This again is, in my opinion, just a bunch of verbiage, and it's inaction. It's not real until people see it. And what's it going to take, Cyril? Another mass shooting before we actually see something happen? How many mass shootings have there been since the Senate and Mitch McConnell said that they would do this? But what angers me, though, Cyril, is that as of a couple months ago, President Trump and Mitch McConnell said they don't support this. So all of a sudden now, okay, we do support it. Yeah, to me, this is just a bunch of window dressing to try to placate corporate conglomerates, the NRA, powerful lobbyists. I think this is just a lot of talk to make sure that the people that are sending money to these campaigns are happy. That's really. Are you
talking about the NRA here? I know you've written about the role of the NRA, and you feel that their influence on politicians is a big reason that gun control laws haven't been passed at least at a federal level.
Yeah, are you kidding me? The NRA is governing the United States when it comes to gun control laws.
So my opinion, they've had a good deal of internal trouble. So my question to you would be: do you think they're as powerful now as they were a few months ago? And if not, do you think that opens a window, perhaps, for some political movement on this?
No, I don't buy it at all. The fact that our president is more concerned about calling the head of the NRA than reaching out to people that have been impacted by these shootings, that speaks volumes. I still believe that the NRA, they, along with some other corporate conglomerates, are controlling our government at this point. Cyril, we don't really live in a democracy anymore in the United States. The last few years have been more of a dictatorship and a tyranny governed by powerful lobbying groups like the NRA and other corporate conglomerates. That's really the truth here in the United States.
And you feel about this on the gun issue specifically?
Well, the gun issue specifically, and also other. I mean, there are other issues in the country as well where where corporate conglomerates are padding the pocketbooks of Republican leadership. I mean, one issue that I would like to see changed as well, Cyril, that I think would maybe help with some of these problems like gun control and other issues in the U.S. is campaign finance reform, where we limit or eliminate powerful lobbying groups and big corporations from donating to candidates. Let's get a constitutional amendment or a new law that greatly limits that, so that the policies that are enacted are really on behalf of the people as opposed to just a few.
Brian Claypool, as I said in the introduction, you've been at one of these massacres. You're a survivor of one of these. You've seen the shots fired. You have feared for your life. It's important for us to get your voice on this, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sarah.